Hi folks, I hope you are doing well. A long time ago on this channel I reviewed the Ergotron LX desk mount arm in its polished aluminium finish, which at the time was the only finish it was available in. Very nice it was too. That was the first arm that I ever reviewed for drawing tablets, digital artists and illustrators, creatives like you and me. But since then I've reviewed a ton of different arms and I've reviewed them in different finishes as well, such as white, which I really like. But the Ergotron LX arm is also available in matte black now, which kind of looks really nice. My studio is this nice white kind of busy feeling studio and I like white arms, but the black LX desk mount arm does look very nice, especially since most of our drawing tablets are black. It kind of fits rather seamlessly. And I can actually see that the LX desk mount arm from Ergotron in matte black would probably be the most popular arm. Let's face it, the LX desk mount arm is the most popular arm in terms of the amount of tablets it will fit. It won't fit a 27-inch drawing tablet because those tablets tend to be heavier. They want the LX sit stand arm or another arm that's you can find. I've got videos on how to find the right arm for your tablet. Go and check out my Ergotron playlist for more information on which arms are right for you. But the LX arm is pretty much right for anything 24 inches or under. It's incredibly stable, it's affordable, it's a great arm. But in matte black, it blends seamlessly with most tablets. No matter what color your desk is, your studio is, it still goes. So I thought, why not take this opportunity to do an unboxing, show you how to set it up, and show you how well it works when you've got it in front of you. My older video was one of the first ones on my channel. It was certainly the first Ergotron video I did. But it was also an early video on my channel, which when I watch back makes me cringe. It's still a good video, but it makes me cringe. I was a lot thinner, slightly younger, still had a couple of greys, but this is a good chance to update a video for sure. So let's get started. Jumping straight into the unboxing, the first thing you're going to notice is the instruction manual for the LX desk mount LCD arm, to give it its full name. And this is a really well illustrated instruction manual. You don't have to read anything. Don't worry if that looks a bit daunting. Like I say, you don't have to read a thing. You can just follow along with that well illustrated instruction manual. I've followed loads of these in the past. I now don't have to even look at the instruction manual. There's the need help leaflet that is in every box as well. I've never needed to ask for help. There's the lower arm as well. There you go. And on the underside of the lower arm you'll find the plastic section which helps you to hide all of the cables. Now this is powder coated in the matte black, and you can see it's even been powder coated on the inside. That slots into the upper arm there, which we'll get to later on in the unboxing. We'll also come back to all of this in the setup as well. Now let's move on to the next part in our unboxing, which is the tool packet. Now everything in the tool packet is individually sectioned, so you can open it up as you need it. All the pieces as well are named, which makes it incredibly useful if you are following along with that instruction manual. Obviously if you're following along with my setup, then it's brilliantly easy, and I'll show you when to open each section. The only part that's not in the little tool bag there are the cable ties, and again I'll tell you when you need those. Looking at the second section in the box, the first thing we're going to pull out is the upper arm. Obviously it's quite hefty, but you can see this is the part that actually attaches to your tablet, but there's a warning label about how this can hit you in the face. Now this has the 100 by 100 as well as the 75 by 75 attachment VESA plate, and next we move on to the desk clamp with the Ergotron branding. This pole has an attachment which can be moved on, up and down. This is the short pole. Adjusting this to a lower position will actually make your arm and tablet more stable. So this part here will attach this to the desk, obviously, and you can make further adjustments depending on the thickness of your desk as well. We'll come to this part later. If you've got a really thick desk, obviously you'll need to do that. So now we've gotten everything out of the box, the first thing I want to show you is how to attach your drawing tablet to the first part of your Ergotron arm. This is pretty simple, but we've got a couple of options. First things first, you want to remove any kind of stand from your drawing tablet. And I've got a Wacom Cintiq here, so I'm just going to take a few minutes to unscrew that. Obviously it goes straight into the VESA holes that I'm going to need to use. Obviously you want to be professional about this though, and bag up those screws, tape them to the stand, and keep everything neat and orderly rather than just throwing things to the side. I recommend, doing it properly, step by step, rather than just putting this haphazardly to the side. Next you'll actually want to identify the screws. Now you could go straight for the standard screws or for these thumb screws, which means that you can just unscrew it without using a screwdriver when you want to remove your tablet or even attach it like I'm doing here. See, no screwdriver necessary, which makes it really good. Go from corner to corner rather than screwing them in. They're the regular screws you can use, but this way you don't have to use a screwdriver, which I think is better. Next up, we look at attaching the Ergotron itself to the desk. Now this sounds pretty straightforward, but one thing I want to point out before we actually go ahead is that you have to make sure the quality of your desk is good enough. If you have a super thick desk, the actual desk that I use on a day-to-day basis is actually that thick, which a lot of desks have a problem with. So check out the Ergotron website to make sure that your desk isn't too thick. Most desks are only like that thick, so you won't have a problem. But if you have something like a glass desk, yeah, buy a new desk first. Chipboard desks also. Is it going to be strong enough? Most desks from IKEA will be absolutely fine. But if you're putting a super heavy tablet on an arm and then on a desk, your tablet's going to cost a lot of money, and then the arm costs money. Do you want to trust an old desk you got out of a skip to take all that weight and the cost of that? Do you see where I'm going with that? Basically, yeah, think about the quality of your desk. Put it on a decent desk. That's all I'm saying. Real wood is better than rubbish, chipboard, flaky. Yeah, that's all I'm saying here. Think about the quality of your desk. Plus, glass desks, ugh. Who wants to see their legs while they're working? Firstly, get the clamp tightened as close as you can to the thickness of the desk. That way you're not finding it awkward to tighten it up. These parts might help, you might have to adjust them, and that way it's easy to just slide on there. Obviously you'll need to get a bit of extra room. That way if it's close to a wall, you can just tighten it up a little rather than spending ages tightening it up with your hand reached around the back awkwardly. Then you can just put on the first piece of the arm and it just slides on. You don't have to screw it on or anything like that. Make sure it moves easily. Next up, it's a matter of slotting on the upper arm, and you can see how quickly this is all coming together. Again, there's no screws or anything like that, it's just gravity keeping together the arm. There's no lubrication, no screws or anything like that. The arm is already prepared, it's just gravity keeping this together. This point I like to do a quick tension test. Just make sure I can push down on the arm easily, taking care that it's not going to pop up and hit me in the face. Make sure to tweet me if you've got any questions or anything like that about the Ergotron LX arm or any other Ergotron questions that you may have. Remember folks, I am always happy to help you out with stuff like this. At this point you are most of the way there, and you've already attached your tablet. I'm just going to do a quick test again now that I've got the upper arm on. Just making sure that it moves easily enough, making sure that I can twist it at all the major joints. And it seems to be working fine, making sure that this hinge moves as well. I couldn't move this before when I just had the upper arm on itself, but it seems to be working fine, so I'm going to pop that cap in and move on to the next stage. Now that you have it all assembled and it's looking absolutely great, the next thing to do is get those cables put together. This is probably the most awkward part of it, but it's also really, really rewarding because you can see everything coming together. So it's time to get all up in there and start twisting things around, cable ties, maybe get a little practice in. One thing I would certainly do is maybe dig out some cable ties from around the house just in case you need some spares. The Wacom Cintiq I've chosen today is 3 separate cables. It's the Wacom Cintiq 22, so it's 3 separate cables. Now some tablets these days are just one cable, which would be heaven on earth, but it's absolutely fine. Now remember, you have a moving metal arm here, so you do have to give the cables a bit of slack. Now we have the small cable ties in the separate bag which we found on the first layer of the box, so we're just gonna put those in here, but we're gonna leave them loose. They should hold perfectly well by themselves if we just kind of attach them like so. Might take several attempts just to get them in there, but don't worry about that. It took me a long time to kind of work out how to do this, but there you go, and they just slot in like that, and then you can just tie the cable ties around them. Some cables are a little thicker than others, some are a little more fiddly, but once you've got them on, leave them a little baggy. Now I wouldn't leave them that baggy, of course, because the cable tie won't actually hold to the Ergotron, but what you can do is once you've got both of them on, you can come back and tighten them up, which works really, really well. So here we go, we'll come back and just tighten them up. Now I know they look very messy, but we're going to get some scissors and just snip those off in a second. Just make sure they're tight enough so they won't slip off, but they have a little bit of give to them. That makes them absolutely perfect. Because this arm moves around and you want to be able to rotate the tablet and so on and so forth, yeah, you want there to be give. The good thing is you can always come back and remove the cable ties and replace the cable ties if needs be. You can get cable ties from any hardware store, and you probably already have some around the house. Now for the lower part of the arm, there's this plastic casing that we've already looked at, and the cables pop right into there. Now like I said, you want to make sure there's a little bit of give in there because the arm moves around and turns. Now you can test this before you put the plastic back on like this. Now I already know how much give I'll need because I've used these LX arms more than a little bit. So I'm just going to slot this in here, and that looks good. How about we get ready for the next part of putting this together? See what we need. This is a good time to stop and check over the manual. You are going to be using the Allen wrenches here to tighten up or loosen the joints. You're going to be adjusting the Ergotron LX desk mount here to make it right for whatever tablet you are putting on there. Now, I can't tell you how many times to the left or how many times to the right to get it perfect for you, because every tablet is different. It could be to the left, it could be to the right. The manual does say, I think it's that way to loosen and that way to tighten. I always forget. But it's something that you do want to repeat every few months just to keep on top of it. Every time you move that tablet, you're kind of loosening it up a bit. Keep on doing it. And a lot of people forget that as well. You know, a lot of people think, oh, you just set it once and it's fine. But yeah, keep the Allen key handy. I keep mine by my desk, funnily enough. And yeah, you got to keep on top of these things. But it does work out and it is absolutely great. Why don't we talk about the drawing experience on the Ergotron LX arms? I've loved these arms as long as I've used them, and I have at least 4 in the studio now. I love these to bits. I wouldn't stop using them for anything. The freedom of movement they allow. You don't realize you're using them until you stop using them. The ability to just rotate your canvas, to move your tablet closer to you, further away when you want to look at it at a distance. You stop using the functions within the applications and you just start using it as your tablet, as you would a piece of paper when you're drawing traditionally. It just becomes second nature, like tilting your head. That becomes an absolutely brilliant thing. Now, a tablet can also remain really, really stable. It's such a brilliant piece of equipment. I love using my drawing tablet. I wouldn't change either piece of equipment. I think the one thing that people really have to realize is that it changes the whole definition of the drawing tablet experience, and it really does change it for the better. The way that you draw, the speed that you draw at really does, it's amazing. I saw these things and I thought they were cool, but I didn't realize how beneficial they were to your entire workflow until I got my first Ergotron. So your Ergotron is now fully set up and it looks fantastic. You now have a full range of motion and you can twist it and you can turn it and the cables don't get in the way because you've got them all, you know, neatly tucked under the arm there. And the point is that you're focused and you're concentrated on nothing but drawing and creating, photo editing, animation, whatever it is that you are doing. That's the point here. And you haven't got the stand on your desk taking up room and you can shove it right to the back of the desk when all you want to do is put your feet on the desk and watch something that you're streaming. I do that all the time. But then I wipe the coffee rings off my desk and I get to work. But the point is that amount of flexibility helps you rotate and carry on drawing from a different angle and rotate and draw from a different angle, and you really get stuck in and you can do some amazing work, and it speeds up your workflow like you've never imagined before, no matter what application you're working in. You know, whether it's Illustrator, Photoshop, Corel Paint, Sketchable, list off anything you want, I don't care, it's all there. No matter what drawing tablet you're working on, this works brilliantly. these arms are created for TVs, for monitors. Funnily enough, there's only been one invented for a drawing tablet. But they all work amazingly for drawing tablets, for artists, creatives like us. So, I hope you really enjoy your new monitor arm. The LX desk mount, specifically in black, I think looks really nice. I also like it in white and the aluminium finish. I'm still kind of partial to that just because I think it looks, you know, it has a classic feel and I think it being my first ever Ergotron arm still holds a place in my heart. That is actually still on my desk now, holding up my HP Z27 monitor. You know, I might swap them over, but for right now I'm using, you know, I might just continue to use the black one for reviews, so you'll be seeing that again in my videos for sure. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Stay subscribed. I can't wait to hear more from you guys. If you are using an Ergotron arm, then let me know in the comments below. If you're not using one, then why not? I'm going to be putting more videos up soon. If you've got a drawing tablet that cannot use an Ergotron arm because it doesn't have VESA mounting holes, then I have a solution for that coming up in a video very soon. Bear with me, I will be your savior on that point. So, yeah, like I say, stay subscribed, hit that notification bell if you want to hear about upcoming videos, and let me know all about what you're doing at the moment. If you want me to retweet your artwork, then send that to @LAWRENCEcanDRAW, and I shall speak to you all soon. Ciao for now, keep being creative.